Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Gland Bodybuilding. Mountain. So I just had somebody ask in the comments, how long should they train light for, or how long should they train heavy? Like, should they train exclusively heavy for a whole month and then switch back to light training? Or should they incorporate heavy and light training in their daily workouts or in their weekly workouts and so forth? So the thing is, there's no right answer to this. Or at least there might be a right answer depending on the situation. That's probably a better way to put it. I think that if you feel that your joints are really beat up and you feel that you have a lot of issues happening to the body because of using heavy weight, one could argue that backing off on the heavy weight for a period of time, such as a month or 6 weeks or 2 months, like whatever it is, might be a good idea. There might be also an argument for you to stop training altogether for a week or two and just take a break, right? But one thing's for sure is that if you're training heavy and it's causing issues with you, so much so that you're forced to take a whole month off training, it is my opinion that maybe there is a better way to train, period. Like maybe training so many successive days in a row heavy is what's causing the overall beating to the body. And you might be able to say, that training heavy that often or that much, say 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks in a row, might be just overkill. Maybe you just need one heavy workout and then throw in some lighter workouts for the rest of the week. And then another heavy workout maybe the next week or 2 weeks later, right? So what I'm saying is that if something is breaking you or causing some sort of issue, then there's a good chance that it needs some adjustment. So I understand that the need for templates, in this day and age, we just get a recipe off Google or we get a template and you just follow that template. That's a starting point, but that's not the ideal way to train, which is why sometimes you guys ask me in the comments, what do I think about your training program A or B or whatever it is that you're doing? A lot of times it's impossible for me to comment without actually having a consultation with you because your experience of the program matters. Like what's happening to you? Like what are you noticing? Are you noticing you're getting injured? Are you noticing your strength is going up? Or are you noticing that you're totally burned out all the time? Like these are very important things to consider when adjusting a person's program. It isn't about finding the perfect program. It's about finding the perfect program for you based on how your body is responding. It's going to be impossible just to say this program, you did day 1, day 2, day 3. Okay, that's a perfect program, it just on paper. The problem is with that type of thinking is that you're not taking the person and their experience into account, and therefore you cannot really give an accurate answer. I mean, look at all the guys on YouTube. Look at all the people that are high-level natural bodybuilders that talk about different ways of training and how they found a different way of training to get their best results. Like me, I'm more a high-frequency guy. I like to rep out and then do heavy once in a while and then rep out. But then there's other guys that do high-intensity type training, or other guys that do more constant tension or slow reps rather than fast reps like I do. So this individual thing, it keeps on smacking you in the face, right? Your individuality matters, and you just cannot say that one program is good for everybody and that program is good for everybody. They might be all okay, but in the end, if you want the ideal information, your experience and what's actually happening with you is a major thing to consider. So based on that, I'll say what I said before. If the program is harming you, or if you're going backwards, then maybe you're doing too much of a good thing. Heavyweight is great, but if you're doing it too much and too often, then it can hold you back or injure you. Just like lightweight. If you do lightweight too often or too much and you never touch any heavyweight, you might notice that you get kind of stringy or flattened out, or maybe you're not quite as pumpy and lumpy as you think you should be in order to fill out one of my tank tops properly or something. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you're not putting in a heavy day here and there. Now safely, of course. I'm not saying strain for 1 rep maxes. I'm saying, 6 to 10 reps or something like that is pretty good with a lot of the lifts. And if you're doing deadlifts or squats, then I'd recommend, 10 reps is a heavy set. I wouldn't recommend ever going lower than 10 reps on squats and deadlifts. That's my thing. That's really my safety recommendation for people. I think it's going to give you all the benefit without as much risk of injury. So that's why I recommend a bit of a higher rep range on squats and deads. But yeah, my point is that I find it best to mix up the rep ranges, not in an individual workout all the time, but you do a heavy workout and then you do some lighter workouts or higher rep workouts like 10 reps, 15 reps, 20 reps, 25 reps. And you might need to go for a week or 2 weeks of doing that higher reps and then come back to heavy again when you come back to that body part again. So if you do 2 or 3 workouts for a certain given body part, say you do chest 3 days in a week, I'd say do a heavy day and then 2 moderately heavy days, like 15 to 20 reps or 20 to 25 reps, and then come back to the heavy day. And if you find that's too much, then like I said, just go heavy once every 2 weeks and see what happens. But I find that's the best way to periodize your training and rep ranges, is to mix them up that way and have certain workouts where you do higher reps and certain workouts where you do lower reps. And yes, you can mix it up. Sometimes you might go heavy on the chest and light on the back in one day and vice versa. That can happen. But I'm just saying you don't want to go heavy all the time on a body part until you hit a wall and then you're forced to go light because you've burned out. Once you hit that burnout stage or that injury stage, I think you probably pushed a little bit too far. So you want to ease the body into adaptation. You don't want to crucify it or crush it. If you crucify and crush it too much, then sometimes you can't come back from some of the beating that you give the body, right? So yeah, I mean, I do believe in heavyweight. I believe in being intense when you're in the gym, but intensity with different rep ranges will have different effects. And if you're intense with super low reps a lot, you will have a tendency to crash and burn. And again, this is going to be based on your own constitution, because some of you guys might be able to go heavy more often, and that's fine. If you find that your body responds really well to it and you don't have any aches and pains, then by all means do that. But in the end, it's about you paying attention to how is your body responding and making decisions on a day-to-day basis based on that, rather than just blindly following a program or some template that somebody gives you on the internet or somebody gives you at the gym. If you do things because somebody tells you to do them and you ignore what your body's saying in the process, you're going to hit disaster at some point. So that's the thing. That's what this channel is about. Always building the awareness and feeling what is happening with the body and making decisions from there. And yeah, start with a template, but always listen to the body. Mountain. So I hope this helps out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgalantbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the page supporters, and take care for now.